Sizzles Purple Berry Crunch. Ah! Flakes and Purple Berry flavored powder nuggets.
How do you do? Ah, how might I assist you? What? All right, I suppose. How might I assuage your fears? Whom else would I work for? Those sublight thugs? That Tennyson woman? The sweaty masses in the groundside townships? The board is the only force for order in this rough-and-tumble colony of ours. Without them, we'd all starve to death or meet our end in a canid's jaws. That's a curious question. I can't say I've ever considered how my personal satisfaction factors into the work I do. Permit me to answer your question another way. In Byzantium, I was one among many. I often felt, lost in the hurry and expanse of the capital. Here, I have a measure of power and suffer little oversight. It makes for a different kind of loneliness, but it's one I've found I can endure. I understand. And I would ask the same of you, but I suspect... Well, I suspect I'd find your answers less than satisfactory, wouldn't I? That's an unusual rhetorical tactic, but I admire your frankness. And your gumption. Yes, do tell. Oh, she's fantastic. Very dependable. Quite unlike that stubborn Tennyson woman. An apprehension of this caliber would be tremendous for my career. I would send you straight away to my superiors in Byzantium, but... Just a teensy one, the teensiest. Nothing to, lie awake worrying about for nights on end or anything. The thing is, I needed money. A lot of money, quickly, for reasons. I might have pawned my official board seal to Gladys, the black market fancier on the Groundbreaker. I can't authorize the paperwork you'll need to turn Phineas in without it.
Stray too much from the, straight and narrow, and one may just find himself assigned pastoral duty in a maximum security penitentiary.
It's only temporary, of course. I'd never leave something so important in the hands of someone of such dubious moral character. I was going to buy it back once I raised the capital. So you'll need to get my seal back from her if you want to hand Phineas over to the board. That's really neither here nor there, don't you think? I've been working on something on the side, all right? Something not entirely, on the level. I produce bootleg serials. I can't help myself. Jurisprudence After Hours, or All My Colonists, The New Immortals, romance, tragedy, debt collection. And they're all mine. I wish I could say others felt the same. I've made nothing on them. Not a bit. My losses are staggering. I might have pawned my official board seal to Gladys, the black market fancier on the Groundbreaker. I can't authorize the paperwork you'll need to turn Phineas in without it.
Stray too much from the, straight and narrow.
It's only temporary, of course. I'd never... So you'll need to get my seal... That's the long and short of it, yes. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I'm certain Gladys can be made... well, can probably be made to see reason. I'll be waiting eagerly for your return. Now, Is there any way in which I might assist you?
I don't know much about this lab coat, but if he trusted you, you oughtn't betray that. Trust is hard to come by here.
It's almost time for today's episode of The Chairman's Children. Care to listen with me? Depends. What are you planning to do with it? See the lights. Taking a show or two at the infamous Bijou. Could be a treat if you like that kind of thing. All right, I'll sell it to you. But it's gonna cost you dear. Well, ain't that peachy? You enjoy that stamp, you understand? And don't you dare use it responsibly. Anything else? Anytime, sweetheart. You know where to find me.
How do you do? Oh my law. You've done it. You've saved my hide. I can't thank you enough. Now then, let me see. I just have to apply the seal here, sign like so, and... ta-da! Here are the forms you'll need once you reach Byzantium. Oh, and a nav key so your ship can travel there. Those authorization forms will let you speak with Sophia when you arrive. I'll send her a message straight away to let her know you're coming. She'll be delighted, I'm sure.
Captain, are you telling me you haven't heard of the adjutant to the chairman of the board? Ms. Akande may just be the most powerful woman in the colony.
Yes, quite. Miss Akande is just the person to take someone with your particular talents and sterling character under her wing. She can fill you in on all of the board's operations in the colony, really put your talents to use. Best of luck to you, and thank you again. Give my regards to the Unreliable.
Never thought I'd see the gates of Byzantium. Never mind what lies beyond.
Can't wait to see what nonsense people waste their bits on in the capital.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Not so fast. All right, you're cleared. The adjutant's expecting you. Go on through.
I see you haven't been shot to pieces by the guards. Do you have an appointment? Of course. You're that curious spacer Mr. Bedford mentioned. Just a moment, please. Madam Adjutant, Bedford's contact has arrived. Shall I clear your schedule?
No, thank you, Percival. I doubt this will take long. I'm Sophia Akande, Adjutant to the chairman. Yes, Hawthorne, or whoever you really are. I've been reading all about you. This dossier from Emerald Vale was especially engrossing. I've been keeping up with you ever since Emerald Vale. Now that was an interesting piece of work. A rundown backwater, barely worth the ink on a map. Until you showed up. Today the region is profitable for the first time in years. Its workers are productive. They might even be happy. Anyone with eyes can see that you're talented. But you're also unpredictable. I don't like unpredictable. You have potential. But as an investment, you're also a risk. I'd like to take you for a trial run. I have a job for you. One of our cartographers needs to be retired. I want you to carry it out. If you're afraid of bloodying your hands, feel free to wear gloves. Rachel Lockwood, cartographer for the Bureau of Exploration. She's done some sensitive work for us, but now she's a loose end. Lockwood has to go. Get rid of her. Bring me her work. Then we'll talk about Dr. Welles. I'll tell you what I can. It isn't as if we're executing Lockwood for mislabeling a river on a map. It isn't what she's done, but what she knows that forces our hand. The nature of Lockwood's work was sensitive, confidential, and concerns the future of Halcyon. I can't risk leaving her alive. I suppose I could, but then you'd be a loose end, and neither of us want that. Precisely. I'd be obliged to send assassins after you. You'd likely kill them, thereby obliging me to send more. I don't need that kind of paperwork. Deal with Lockwood, and I'll know that I can rely on you. That counts for more than trust.
We're gonna kill somebody without even knowing what they did wrong, if anything?
So now we're taking orders from this pompous bureaucrat?
Keep your associates in line, Captain. I expect them to follow your orders as you follow mine. At the very least, I expect you to do better than the other freelancer. Report back to me when you're finished. We've hired outside contractors before. There's another freelancer working this job, but he's been dragging his heels. Dependable and competent freelancers are hard to come by. For your own sake, I hope you prove to be the exception and not the rule. I'll tell you what I can. Let's not mince words. Welles is a dangerous criminal and a lunatic. He's earned every bit of his bounty. I know you're eager to collect on that bounty. Deal with Lockwood, then we'll talk. Excellent. Percival will handle your paperwork for you.
Hey, you got a minute?
Apologies for the wait. I was arranging my stationery. Personal assistant to Adjutant Akande and Chairman Rockwell. I'm also responsible for organizing the Adjutant's stationery, which is more of a hobby. Quite so. I owe the honor of my current position to a reputation for discretion, and also my family's connections. Will there be anything else?
If we wanted the board's attention, we got options. Piracy, vandalism, maybe some light arson. We want to put some fear in the board, right? Get them scared of us. Sure, if by working relationship you mean working him over with a blunt instrument. You just got an audience with Sophia Conde. That's the adjutant to the chairman? You sure we should be trusting her? If you think she's using us, why'd you give her the time of day? I know we're freelancers and all. We take work where we can find it. But we gotta be vigilant, you know? This is how the board gets you. A job here, an errand there. Before you know it, you're calling him sir and ma'am. I appreciate your time. Let's get back to it.
Are we gonna get in trouble today? Not that I want to, just seems to happen around you, is all.
Welcome to the official headquarters of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation Board.
Is it me, or could each of these homes fit all of Edgewater inside? Cannery and all.
Marks a monumentous occasion in the course of Halcyon history.
All right, how does this sound?
Rizzo's Lemon Slap. Slap your whole family tonight.
Welcome. Welcome to the Byzantium office of... Bureau. Bureau of Exploration. Never mind who I am. Hi there. Well, hey there. What can I do for you? Damn, fine, you got me. I ain't a receptionist. Truth be told, I'm glad you know. Lying to a stranger weighs heavily on my spirit. I was hired to cross off Ms. Lockwood. Thought I'd pose as her receptionist. Brilliant, right? Thing is, she ain't shown up in ages. So here we are. I'll just tell her I'm the replacement. If she calls me on it, I'll kill her. If she buys it, I'll kill her. Win-win. Ha! Hope you don't mind a bit of competition. May the best receptionist win. Perish the thought. I don't just waltz about murdering who I please. I am a professional. I have got standards. Hey, I tried to convince him to take a vacation. He wasn't hearing it. Some people's work ethic is just too strong for their own good. I'm gonna wait for her to return. Tell you what, you find out where she is, you let me know, yeah? As a professional courtesy. Then we can both have at it, and whoever kills her better gets the contract. What do you say? Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Can't keep us out.
I'm afraid I can't come down anymore, my good man.
I'm on my legally allotted break. Really, I'm supposed to be here.
Get away from me! Were you following me? Back off, all right? I've got a slide rule and I'm not afraid to use it.
Hey, hey, you found her. I'm a little miffed you didn't let me know, but all's well that ends well. Let's get to killing.
What? Killing? What the fuck is going on here?
My friend and I here have jobs to do. You just sit tight for a minute while we discuss how we're gonna handle this. The contract calls for her maps, yeah? Half the bits for the maps, half for the confirmation of the kill. How's about I take the kill, and you take the maps?
Hold on, okay? Just hear me out. What if...
Will you pipe down? We're trying to have a business meeting here. You must be new to the assassination game. If you talk to your victims, it makes it harder to kill them, see? It's not recommended. Didn't you read the handbook?
Please, just listen. You don't need to...
Shush! Oh, all right. The anticipation is killing me, though. Get it? Because I want to kill her?
Wait. Whatever the contract is, I'll pay you both the full amount. You let me live, and you don't have to split anything.
That's a lot of bits. But, I mean, I've got a reputation to uphold. How would you feel if someone paid you to make bogus maps? You know, my friend, that's a fine point. If I hightail it out of here, I can avoid the inside of a cell for once. All right. Deal.
Thank the law. Here's your half. And here's yours.
Right. Well, you two, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure. Yeah. I honestly hope I never see either of you again. I swear I'll leave Byzantium. I'll leave Terra too. I'll find a way off Halcyon, if I can. Shh. What? As you were.
How may I be of assistance? Wonderful. I'll file the appropriate paperwork on your behalf. Meanwhile, Adjutant Akande would like a word with you.
You allowed Rachel Lockwood to walk away with her life. Do you realize the inconvenience you just caused me? Don't look so surprised. You're a potential investment. Of course I'm going to keep an eye on you. Leaving her alive complicates matters. But that's now my problem, not yours. And you've brought me Lockwood's papers, as I asked. You've demonstrated your talents. If you're ready to talk about Phineas Welles, I'm prepared to listen. That complicates things. The rings are massive and almost impossible to scour. Welles had to be in touch with you somehow. Find his communication terminal and send us a tracing signal. Once I verify his location, I'll arrange for your payment. I always reward good work. Deliver Welles to the board, and you'll be more than compensated. Percival will file the appropriate paperwork on your behalf. Once you've sent a tracking signal from Wells's lab, we'll move on to the next step.
As instructed, the code for our secure communication channel. On behalf of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, I bid you good day. Oh, just a receipt for your services and my receipt for your receipt, and also a standard declaration of intent to perform espionage. Very routine. I'll see to it personally. I'm flattered beyond description.
Hey boss, I've been thinking. When you started working for the Adjutant, I wasn't sure what to think. But the way you treated Miss Lockwood was real honorable. Heroes always do the honorable thing. There it is. The tagline for our adventure serial. This is all part of your plan, right? You're putting on an act. Pretend you're loyal to the Adjutant, earn her trust, and then, when she least expects it, you hit her with the old double cross. What? Is there something on my nose? Oh. Oh! You meant I was right. Got it. We should get back to work. Thanks for the talk.
You've done fine work for Sublight. By the transitive property of reputation, I am now in Sublight's good books. Well done. What's on your mind? You absolutely should. Sarcasm, the last refuge of the witless. The Adjutant must have sent you some kind of tracking code. If you don't use the code, she'll suspect you betrayed her. I think you should use the code and send a corrupted tracking signal. That should buy me some time. The board's going to catch up to me sooner or later. This way I'll have time to set up some particularly nasty defenses. Use my communications terminal to corrupt the tracking signal. While the board busies themselves trying to decipher it, I'll have plenty of time to prepare my defenses. You've bought me more than enough time. What's on your mind? Armored glass? Not bad, eh?
Son, you have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
I'm impressed, Captain. I almost expected you wouldn't go through with it. Unfortunately, Dr. Welles found a way to corrupt the signal before we could pinpoint his location. Still, it's only a matter of time before we find him. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about the future of this colony. Transmissions are so impersonal. I'd like to meet you face to face.
Adjutant Akande has ended her call. Rather rudely, if I might say, considering she didn't sign off. Will there be anything else, Captain? We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
How may I be of assistance?
I'm curious. Wells may have been a delusional madman, but he risked his life to save yours. So why turn him in? You went through all this trouble just to earn my trust? I wish I had soldiers half as loyal as you. You've done well. You're efficient, talented, loyal. And if you're ready to get to work, we can finally start doing some good in this colony. Wells was an unfortunate mistake on our part. We let him out of our sights, and he operated from the shadows for decades. Wells has information we need. We're going to monitor his lab and show our hand when we're ready. Until then, you and I have work to do. Work with us, and we'll make you the richest freelancer in Halcyon. My sources tell me you've been busy on Monarch. I'm sure you've seen the miserable state of affairs there, but lawless cesspool that it may be, Monarch has one important asset. All of Monarch's extraplanetary broadcasts are routed through Devil's Peak Station. I want you to claim Devil's Peak Station for the board, by force if need be. I have an agent working in Stellar Bay, Everett Gill. Have a word with him as soon as you arrive. The passphrase is, "The kind of pine grows at night." Yes? So what? Look, that's not important. Get to Stellar Bay and find Everett Gill. Speak to Percival before you go. He'll arrange for your reward for turning in Wells.
Got it. Heads down.
Adjutant Akande has instructed me to reward you for information leading to the arrest of Phineas Welles. Please allow me to extend my felicitations on a job well done. Quite so, sir. As an acting agent of the board, you are entitled to purchase a selection of official board-certified equipment at a discount. Do let me know if you wish to take advantage of this special offer. If you're traveling to Monarch, beware of animals and locals. But I repeat myself. I am at your service.
We're now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain.
So much for peace and quiet. Would it kill the universe to cut me some slack? And I don't see an Insta-coffee in your hand. Yes, the one that crashed. I saw it on the security feed. A bit grainy, but an invigorating watch all the same. What about it? The board has a blockade of gunships that patrol Monarch. Not a ton, mind you, just enough to deter the masses. I am curious as to what downed it. A faulty part wouldn't be wholly unusual. The supply for new mechanicals is tight. Ugh, now I'll never sleep. Unsolved puzzles really torque my sprockets. If you find out what happened, sell me the info. I fear it's a sad day when you've resorted to asking me for advice. Sanjar's about as deadly as a spilled can of lead paint. If anyone's to aim a cannon at my face, I'd prefer it be him. But he'd never have the guts to defend Monarch if it came down to it. Graham's as likely to bomb Monarch as he is to protect it, down to the last dying man, woman, and sistapig. As I'm not the one with access to the artillery cannon, I reckon the decision's ultimately up to you. I'm quite useful from time to time, aren't I? You're welcome. I'm getting a headache behind my left temple. What could be causing it? The glare from the terminal screen? Or something else? Allow me to assure you that I know absolutely nothing about any allegedly illegal broadcasts. Surely the board is aware of that. They must know I'd never involved myself in such despicable activities. There's utterly no reason to arrest anyone in this broadcast station, let alone me. In fact, you're doing me a favor by helping me disable any alleged such broadcasts, if they exist. You could do me another favor by mentioning my loyalty to the board in your report.
I don't think this fellow's entirely on the level.
Ah, damn it, Hiram. You were so close. I was just starting to like you.
I'm not sure whether to be touched or insulted by that. Look, you never met a man more willing to work with the board than me. I know we can come to an agreement, please. Sophia does? What sort of an amount are we intimating here? Never mind. The details are of no matter for now. I'm happy to help the board in any way I can, for so long as they consider me a friend. And as you've already shut down the transmission from Amber Heights and Stellar Bay, you've effectively ended all unregulated chatter on the planet. I suppose it won't kill me to work under Sophia. I am on familiar terms with her from let's call it a past contract job. As I am now inextricably in the board's service, I'd say we're done here. Unless, of course, you require anything further. Is that a trick question? Because to answer it, you'd need to pay me. Of course, I could offer you a vastly more interesting bit of data instead. Try me. Ask me anything you'd like. I'll even offer it for free. We'll call it an exchange for your help with the broadcasts. Ask me what you will. How low you seemingly regard my trade. Business is... Give my regards to Sophia, won't you?
How may I be of assistance?
I've just finished reading a report of your work on Monarch. The broadcasts have been silenced at last. Unfortunately, Sanjar Nandi and Graham Bryant still draw breath. I would have liked to be rid of them, but they're no longer important. And you brokered an alliance with the broker himself. Hiram Blythe is a valuable asset. Well done. Your work is exemplary. You've earned a place in the chairman's inner circle. Congratulations are in order. Now, we introduce you to the chairman's plan. Turn your eyes to the screen.
Good afternoon. I'm Chairman Rockwell, and I'm here to address a serious issue facing us. As you all know, our colony has been successful beyond our wildest dreams. Unfortunately, we've recently discovered that our food supply will not be able to sustain Halcyon's population in the long term. Everyone will die. Everyone will slowly stop living from malnutrition. But we're doing it together, and that's what matters. I fucking swear, if someone doesn't give me something to read that will placate the masses soon, all of you will find yourselves violently unemployed. But I can assure you there's nothing to fear. We've got a solution. It's called the Lifetime Employment Program. We will freeze most of the colony to preserve resources, while the best and brightest of Byzantium continue living in prosperity. Look, you idiots! How many times do I have to tell you we can't say shit like that? Fire whoever wrote this! While Halcyon's brightest minds solve the problem of our nutritional shortage, the rest of the colony will be placed in suspended animation. Individuals will be revived on a rotating basis, so that every Halcyonite can be part of the important work of saving our colony. By testing paperweights. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's go again. And someday, in the not-too-distant future when we've solved this crisis, we'll all be back together again working for the good of Halcyon. Until then, the board shall provide for the deserving just as it always has. So, obey your supervisors, take your vitamins, follow your corporate-mandated grooming rituals, and rest assured with the board on your side, there is nothing to worry about.
Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept, but we must accept the truth before we can move forward. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next, followed by starvation, followed by a breakdown of society, followed by extinction. I know this must come as a surprise to you. I imagine you have questions.
So that's your solution? Put the whole colony on ice? People ain't gonna stand for this. We'll fight back. We'll tear down the walls of Byzantium.
No, Mr. Millstone, you will not. The workers of Halcyon will do exactly as they are told, as they always have. Your dreams of a people's revolution are the juvenile fantasies of a frustrated child.
Is that why we were suffering plague in Edgewater? Malnutrition? All those folks sick and dying, and you knew why the whole time?
Yes, Miss Holcomb, we knew why. We've known for some time that Edgewater was dying. The colony itself is dying. The suffering you experienced in Edgewater, the disease, the starvation, will soon spread across Halcyon unless we act. I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony is on the verge of collapse, but there is a way to save it. I'll answer however I can. When I first discovered the truth, I was shocked, even disgusted. I wondered how we'd allowed a colony like Halcyon to fall into disarray. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the colony had sown the seeds of its own destruction. We have become lazy and decadent. We smother ourselves in meaningless bureaucracies, We deliberate and argue and procrastinate. I've served the board long enough to understand its weaknesses. Running a colony requires swift and decisive action. The board is slow, ponderous, and prone to squabbling. That's why I'm relying on you. You deliver results without the paperwork. We've already crossed the point of no return. The collapse has already begun. You must have noticed the signs in Emerald Vale. Malnutrition, disease, high mortality rates. This is a permanent famine, Captain. We've done all we can to curb their hunger. Very soon, people are going to realize they're starving. A famine is a problem of logistics as well as marketing. Your workers must remain productive on as little food as possible, and they must always believe that food is plentiful. I'm sure you remember Dr. Anton Crane. His research was instrumental in developing a powerful appetite suppressant. The solution is a temporary one. Before long, our workers are going to feel the effects of starvation. The Lifetime Employment Program is our only viable option. When you turned Phineas Welles over to me, I knew I could rely on you. You've demonstrated your ability to place duty above sentiment. And you deliver results. That quality alone is enough to separate you from the board's army of indecisive bureaucrats. Do you know how many meetings I have to sit through? How many papers I have to sign before I can make one decision? I'm only trying to rescue Halcyon from extinction. I can't save this colony alone. I need someone capable of working outside the system. Someone who can get things done. The Lifetime Employment Program is not some malevolent strategy of an evil mastermind. There's no dark secret buried in the fine print. The program is logical, it's reasonable, it's merciful, and most importantly, it will work. Phineas Welles does not have a plan. He has an obsession. He is obsessed with reviving the Hope's colonists, no matter the cost. Halcyon is already starving. We can't possibly introduce tens of thousands of new colonists into the system. Help me execute the Lifetime Employment Program, and you will have earned a place of honor in Byzantium. You will live in comfort and want for nothing. We need to talk about Emerald Vale. I will be frank, Edgewater was a lost cause. I never expected the settlement to survive another year. But then, you came along. I don't know how you managed to convince a faction of disloyal workers to return to their posts. In fact, Edgewater is more productive than ever before. Every worker in Edgewater will be expedited into our Lifetime Employment Program. Well done, Captain. That town owes you an enormous debt. Edgewater's workers have proven themselves valuable. When the time comes to place our most loyal workers in suspended animation, they're going to be the first in line. You should be proud of yourself, Captain. You're on the verge of making history. There's just one last job I need you to do for me. I've made arrangements for you to journey to the Hope. You will board your former colony ship, reactivate its navigation systems, and skip the colony ship into orbit around Tartarus. Once the Hope is in position, we will have everything we need to begin healing the colony. The Hope has been out of commission for years. You'll need to connect your own ship to the Hope's auxiliary power supply. Then make your way to the Hope's bridge. Your ship's computer will activate the Hope's skip drive and bring you into orbit around Tartarus. Technology, Captain. The same technology that allowed you and your fellow colonists to make the journey from Earth to Halcyon. Under the Lifetime Employment Program, every suitable worker in Halcyon will be placed in suspended animation. The Hope is the perfect storage facility for the colony's workers. I won't lie to you. We're going to have to dispose of some of the Hope's settlers in order to make room for Halcyon's rotating workforce. But try to understand, many of your fellow settlers are beyond saving. They've been frozen for far too long, and the revival process would be lethal. Convenience. The Hope is a massive ship and we'll need to make use of it. Our facilities in Tartarus will benefit from having the ship within orbit. You've proven yourself more than capable. I don't know if there's anyone better suited to this mission than you. Give yourself some credit, Captain. You've come this far without dying in some senseless accident. Clearly, the Architect has a plan for you. I have the highest faith in your abilities, Captain. You and I are going to save Halcyon together.
Here's what I don't understand. The Hope. Big damn colony ship, right? Lost on the edge of space, hundreds of thousands of colonists floating out there, just waiting for a savior. And you're just gonna deliver them into the hands of the board? Come on, boss. Nothing good ever came out of thinking things through. It's just wrong. The board's already got a stranglehold on the entire colony. You're about to give them another ship full of slaves. I'd say you're spinning me a story. I know you, boss. Don't try to pull one over on me. Then I guess we got nothing more to say to each other.
Where are we headed?
Speak. Welles had a litany of charges on his records, the most severe of which is destruction of government property. He may be a dangerous criminal, but I have no intention of having him killed. It's his mind I'm after. Exactly so. It is essential that we understand the science behind long-term hibernation. We have the colony's brightest scientists working on the program, but none of them possess Welles's unique genius. I'd prefer to have Welles alive and cooperating, but I'll settle for having his research.
Captain Hawthorne never worked to support the board before, at least not officially. I suppose we are turning over a new leaf? We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive. If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash the entire colony ship into Terra 2. Or the Sun. The Hope is the Groundbreaker's prettier, sleeker sister. She wandered off and got lost for 70 years, but just recently was found. Also, there are hundreds of thousands of frozen organic life forms hibernating in her hold.
exploding, so guess it worked.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Ms. Akande messaged ahead. I wish this place were in better condition for you, but we're in a bit of a bind. Seems the damn auto mechanicals think we're intruders. Do I look like an engineer? Alls I know is, they're shooting anyone who ain't Hope Crew. We shut off the main power, so they're disabled for now. If you go hooking your ship up, I suspect they'll recharge. And that means trigger-happy auto mechanicals. I'm not going to get in your way, but I'm also not going to send more of my staff to their deaths. We tried that. Didn't work. Something about our faces not matching up. We stored what cards we could find in the badge station to my right, but it's locked off. Can't just hand over whole property. Sorry. I'd heard rumors, but I never thought. So you're, what, 70-something years old? Whew. All right. I'll have someone open the door for you. Good luck.
Authorized personnel.
I have your back, Captain. Nice one.
Nice hit! Everyone all right?
Should we assign Sam for a cleanup?
It's something out of that one horror serial. What was it called? Oh, yeah. Slaughter Island.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. File not found. I see you've located the stasis chambers. Which pod were you slumbering in for so long, Captain? The missing one, I take it?
Am I the only one who wants to scratch my name on one of those pods? Yeah, I figured.
Expect circuit worker. Error. Hope crew data not found. Identify yourself. Error. Paradox protection protocols have prevented me from registering your stated identification. Please report to your nearest mechanical engineer. Error. Paradox prevention has temporarily disabled this unit's auditory processing. Thank you for your cooperation. Initiating greetings protocol.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him.
Well, at the very least, this should be interesting.
Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do. Probably not, but don't let that stop you. My Constellation executables could use some beefing up. Searching. Please stand by. Ah, found one. It will go great, Captain. I am almost 4.01% certain we will not die. Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive. And also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Improved? Jump-starting the skip drive. Destination set to Tartarus. I wouldn't advise that, Captain.
Worst way is to go out, I suppose. It's nice knowing you, boss.
Admitting a deficit? My, you never cease to amaze me, Captain. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADN Does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in-system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now. Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Tartarus's orbit. The board has initiated contact. I believe they're eager to speak with you once you've returned to the ship.
We're alive! We made it! I, never had any doubts.
Oh, I never felt anything like that. I'm gonna need a minute.
You have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande. Captain, you have an incoming transmission from Tartarus.
Attention, Captain of the Unreliable. This is Chairman Rockwell. I'm on Tartarus and, we need your help. Thanks to your intelligence, we successfully captured Phineas, but he's somehow turned the tables on us. That crackpot scientist has caused a riot among the prisoners and unpaid laborers. It's a law-damned bloodbath down here. As if that weren't enough, he's gone and taken Sophia hostage. I'm not gonna mince words. The situation is dire. I need your help. He lost his mind years ago. Do you have any idea how many Hope colonists he's killed for the sake of his science experiments? I don't know. They're in the pits somewhere. Well, you'll see for yourself when you get here. Among other things, we can't run this place without her, Captain. Make haste, Captain. We're losing men by the... Oh, fuck. Fuck! They're at the door! I need to hide. Hurry!
Captain, As it appears we may soon be embarking for a maximum security prison planet, I believe the crew would like to speak with you to, as you humans put it, air some concerns.
Should have known Welles wouldn't go meekly to his doom. We've assisted the board's efforts to enforce order on Halcyon this far. Shall we finish what we started?
But what if it's a trick and she means to get rid of us for good?
Captain, your service to the board has been invaluable. If you wish to claim your rightful place in Byzantium, you must help them crush the riots in the labyrinth.
You can't be serious, Captain. Facing certain death on a fool's crusade is reward enough.
Whatever may await you, it's best not to dock at the prison until you're sure you've settled your affairs and closed out any unfinished business. Waiting on your command, Captain. Captain, I am pleased to inform you that we have successfully landed on Tartarus. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited to executions, are as follows: 1,684. Resident escapes are as follows: 0. The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf with you, Captain. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me, in the event that you do not return. Understood. If you die or are incarcerated for life, I can generate a new ID for the next captain. I would prefer if you returned, though. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
You're the backup, right? From Akande? Thank the law you're here. These bloodthirsty sprat bags have no respect for the law. We're pinned down. I don't understand either. It's not like I tortured them or anything. That was somebody else's job. You've got to help us. Please, kill them. Summary justice for the whole lot. Their biometric ID? I could transmit it. But that'd be against Protocol H927G. If anyone found out, I'd get thrown into a cell right alongside these damn prisoners. I'm never supposed to violate protocol. Never. All right. But if anyone gets on my case about this, I'm sending them straight to you. Got it? There. Data transmitted. Hope this disguise of yours works. Tartarus security out. Hang on. Is that another ship coming in? I think that's from the Groundbreaker. Cripes, did that Tennyson woman really send reinforcements? Between you and the Mardettes, we may be able to retake the docks. Good luck out there, Captain.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be of assistance? Goodbye.
The captain did right by us once.
What
Now
on
it's
sun is
ours.
that?
Forward for Groundbreaker.
On seeing the inside of this place.
Area sanitization assessment. The labyrinth on Tartarus. Task classification. Easy peasy.
Something on your mind? Nice of them to leave us a few options.
saw that.
Whoa, hold on. Where'd you come from? You from Solitary? Whoa. What was it like out there? Ouch. I bet. Put a boot up some UDL asses for us. That'll get the kinks worked out fast. Sharp.
Difficult job ahead? Consider equipping a pack of Sam's Special Solvent Stain-Out Remover. It's ruthless on residual blood splatter.
Hope you're right about this, Captain.
I don't understand. I pulled you out of the Hope. I brought you out of stasis. I gave you the opportunity to help me save every settler on the Hope. We could have saved this colony, you know. That was always the plan. I revive you, you do as I say. I tell you to go there, get me this, shoot that, and you do as I say. If you'd just listened to me, we could have rescued everyone on the Hope. We could have been the saviors of Halcyon. But you didn't listen. No one in this damn colony ever listens. Fighting back! I've released every prisoner in Tartarus. We'll take this prison over, or die in the attempt. We will not go quietly into the night. I'm wise to you and your silver tongue. You may have talked your way into the board's good graces, but I'm not about to fall for your rhetorical savvy. I don't care how many guns you've brought. If you try and stop me, by law, I'll bloody your damn nose. I haven't lost yet. I've still got air in my lungs, I've got strength enough to fire a gun, and I've got Halcyon's greatest monster strapped to a chair. Adjutant Akande is my captive. If I'm to die here, then she's coming with me. If you insist on interfering, I will be forced to kill you. And I don't want that. I can't imagine we've got anything left to say. Of course you had a choice. You could have chosen any number of ways to tell the board to get spaced. You could have fought back. You could have spit in the board's eye. Don't tell me that. There has to be something we can do. Some way we can fight back. The board's only strong because no one fights back. I didn't want things to end this way, you know. For a brief moment in my life, I truly believed we had a chance to save this colony. My life's work has been an exercise in futility. The only honorable way to end it is to go down fighting. Surrender? Oh, I've had a bounty on my head for years. What do you expect will happen if I surrender? Torture, execution. The board has already extracted the secret of reviving colonists from me. I'm no longer useful to them, so they'll make an example of me. You're trying to tempt me with your lies. It won't work. I'll never return to working for the board. Not if all the lives in Halcyon depended on it. Enough! I can't take any more of this. I know what you're trying to do, torturing me with your words, reminding me of all my failures. Yes, I failed. There, I've said it. I'm a failure. I failed the colony. I failed myself. I failed you. Congratulations. You've broken me. Does that put a smile on your face, you monster? Then I suppose there's nothing left to say, except that I am sorry. I'm sorry for all that I've done, and for what I'm about to do. So am I. I'm sorry about all this. I'm sorry about everything. It's just, I just wish we could have... Never mind. It doesn't matter.
Thank the law you're here. That madman was out of control. At least Welles did you the courtesy of saving you a bullet. I'll have one of my soldiers toss his body out on the surface. And what about you? You aren't hurt, I hope. Why shouldn't I be interested in the well-being of my finest agent? Not to mention my most valuable investment. You've put down the worst riot in our history. Rid the colony of a dangerous madman, and saved my life. The board owes you a tremendous debt. We don't have a moment to lose. We're gonna have to work together to save Halcyon, because the situation is far worse than you imagined. We've lost all contact with Earth. It's been 3 years since we've received a message. We've had no contact, no signals, nothing. Earth has gone dark. 2 years ago, the Earth Directorate's frigate disappeared en route to Earth. We don't know if they ever made it. We don't know if there's an Earth to go back to.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth was more than just some distant colonial authority, Dr. Fenhill. Earth was our lifeline. And now, we've been cut loose. We're alone, Captain. That's all I know for certain. Whatever happens to this colony, we're going to have to deal with it on our own. Returning to Earth is not an option. I'll answer however I can. I can't say for certain, but all my data suggests that Earth has experienced a massive calamity. I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. I'm not sure there's an Earth to go back to. I couldn't risk this news getting out. Before you, the 2 people in this colony who knew the truth were Chairman Rockwell and I. I had every intention of telling you the truth after you'd skipped the Hope to Tartarus. Unfortunately, Phineas Welles chose that moment to start a riot. The Earth Directorate's frigate accounts for half of our military forces. 2 years ago, that frigate disappeared while returning to Earth. We haven't heard a word back. Without the Directorate's frigate, our military forces are barely capable of maintaining control over this colony. Not a word. We received our last message 3 years ago. Our every attempt at reaching out to Earth has been met with absolute silence. Yes, we do have a long road ahead of us. But I have faith in you. The service you've done for this colony is nothing short of extraordinary. You're the reason I'm still standing here today. The board will survive because of you. And as the board goes, so goes Halcyon. It's time we carried out the program. I trust I can count on your support, Captain. I'm pleased to hear that. The program is too important to hand over to the board's bureaucrats. That's why I'd like you to take the helm. I'll see to it that the Lifetime Employment Program operates under your supervision. We'll work together to save this colony. We're on our own now. Earth isn't coming to save us, so we're going to have to save ourselves.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The riots in Tartarus ended in a total victory for the board. Without any significant threats to challenge their power, the board asserted their control over the colony. The Lifetime Employment Program began immediately, and the people of Halcyon did exactly what they were expected to do. They obeyed. Sophia Akande converted the labyrinth from a prison to a processing center. She jettisoned the original colonists out of the Hope and transformed the ship into a massive storage facility. One by one, the workers of Halcyon surrendered themselves to the program. They arrived with their families and their friends, their colleagues and their neighbors, and then, one by one, they marched into their stasis chambers. As the workers of Halcyon slept in their hibernation chambers, their settlements became ghost towns, left behind by the board to be reclaimed by nature. Only Byzantium remained, a shining beacon of civilization in an otherwise abandoned colony. The people of Byzantium spent the rest of their days gorging themselves on their stockpile of resources. As for the workers of Halcyon, they never felt the effects of the collapse. They never felt anything at all. Left unchecked, the war on Monarch consumed both MSI and the Iconoclasts. And when the sulfur cloud settled, only stragglers from both factions remained. Some found their way to Sublight, some to Terra 2, and some lived their final years fighting for food in the wilderness. In the end, only the beasts remained. Sublight Salvage adapted to the changes in Halcyon, shifting their business model to suit the times. Their claims of legitimacy were scrutinized, but ultimately unquestioned. Lilia Hagen would continue to protect her family as ruthlessly as ever. Edgewater's cannery met its production quota for the first time in 3 years. As a result, the Adjutant rewarded every worker in Edgewater with a place in the Lifetime Employment Program. Reed Dobson was granted 25 years in suspended animation. However, a computing error adjusted his duration to 250 years. A trouble ticket to resolve this error remains open. While the Groundbreaker remained mechanically stable, the changing times forced Junlei Tennyson to make some difficult calls on behalf of her community. The work of maintaining independence was an uphill climb, and she found herself caving to bad faith compromises with the board. Time will tell if the Groundbreaker can endure. As smaller settlements were swallowed up and their workers drafted into the Lifetime Employment Program, Byzantium continued to thrive. While its citizens lived in decadence and extravagance, a small cadre of scientists worked to solve the nutrition crisis that threatened Halcyon. No one else much noticed the townships that disappeared from the map, or the luxuries that slowly lost their luster year by year. Ellie savored her adventures on the Unreliable. Once they were done, she returned to life as usual, running missions of dubious legality, shunning respectable work, and living life to the fullest. She meant to reach out to her one-time captain, but she was always bad at keeping in touch. As the board reasserted control over Halcyon, Felix came to realize that his life as an upstart rebel had come to an end. The board's victory crushed any hope for a grand revolution across Halcyon. And so Felix, once again, found himself without a purpose in life. And so, disillusioned with his former boss and with nowhere left to go, Felix left his crew without saying goodbye. He was never heard from again. As a reward for his part in her courageous rescue, the Adjutant invited the vicar known as Max to become one of the leaders of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. But Max had no interest in serving any organization, let alone the OSI, which he knew would never tolerate his heretical theories. Instead, he attempted to minister to the people of Byzantium. They rejected his ideas, being far too satisfied with their own material comforts. Disillusioned, Max gave up and left the city. He was never heard from again. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. As the board began to roll out their lifetime employment program, Parvati was plagued by dreams of freezing to death. She began taking increasingly longer shore leaves, and she eventually disappeared from the Unreliable entirely. The board never knew what became of her, and under the Adjutant's orders, they never tried to find out. Parvati was afforded a measure of peace and left to her own devices. As hard as she tried to drink them away, Nyoka's memories eventually overcame her. Traveling with the crew served as a constant reminder of the family she'd lost, and so she eventually returned to Monarch to get back to what she found most comfortable: the deep end of a bottle and the far end of a trail. Few have seen her since, but travelers often swear they hear her and her machine gun in the night, screaming swears and spitting bullets. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Though Minister Clark was eventually released from house arrest, long years of isolation left him a changed man, little suited for bureaucratic work or for the colony that was changing around him. He remained in his estate largely by choice, fading from public view. Adjutant Sophia Akande was instrumental in executing the lifetime employment program. While the rest of Byzantium celebrated, Sophia returned to work by partnering with you. The two of you worked hard to ensure the lifetime employment program ran smoothly. With Halcyon's workers suspended in a state of hibernation, starvation and chaos are problems of the past. The lifetime employment program succeeded in its goals, but that success came at a price. The Halcyon of today is nothing at all like the colony of yesteryear. Power remains concentrated in Byzantium, but all the colony's resources serve the lifestyle of the elite, thereby transforming Halcyon into one of the smallest and most exclusive colonies in the system. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? After the riots on Tartarus came to an end, you threw in your support with Sophia Akande. While Akande administered the board herself, you oversaw the lifetime employment program, stamping out corruption and negligence. Under your leadership, the program ran smoothly. Halcyon's workers were treated with a modicum of dignity. Your involvement kept the board honest and allowed the board scientists to work without the meddling of bureaucracy. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.